hence the name Freedom Against Child Trafficking. When Megan asked me to do this, I was a little hesitant at first, but then I realized, what a better way to get our message out. And I welcome her group and this group as a whole to bring awareness to the problem. But I want everybody to understand a few things. Number one, this problem is not black or white. This problem is not left or right. This problem is not a political issue. This problem is a child issue. And Megan made a comment that runaway children are the most trafficked children. That is a fact. 1 in every three children that are reported missing are involved in some sort of trafficking within the first 48 hours of leaving home. Now, my definition of trafficking in the government's may be a little bit different. But anytime a person uses a child for personal gain, whether it be financial, whether it be sexual, or whether it be for drugs, that's trafficking. We've got to put a stop to it, and she's right. These kids that are called runaways, I hate that word. I despise the word runaway, and I never use it. There's no such thing as a runaway. If a child is not at home where they're supposed to be, they are missing and endangered, not a runaway. So those of you who followed my page, you've probably seen me say that 1,000 times when people ask me, well, did the child run away? And I said, there's no such thing. The child's not home. The question is why, where are they, and we're going to find them. So that's me and my team's job. And I want to thank my team that's here, the guys that are here that rode with me today. This is my personal team that goes out with me when we hit the street looking for these kids. Here in Virginia alone, we've brought home over 80 children home safe. And I really have to thank these guys for that. I also have to thank Senator Amanda Chase, who's helped me on a couple as well. She has absolutely helped me so many times when I needed her. And I can't thank her enough for that. And I appreciate her being here today, but you're going to hear her speak as well. Somebody asked me the other day, how do I justify saying that 800,000 children go missing every year here in the United States when the government says it's only 400,021? Well, let me explain why. The federal government does not report children that have been missing less than 48 hours. Let me say that again. The federal government does not report children that are missing less than 48 hours. Meaning if you report a child missing and they're found within the first 48 hours, that's not reported to the federal government. That is not in the federal numbers. That's a problem. That makes people think it's less of a problem what there really is. Yes, some of these kids leave home on their own. Yes, some of them leave home for very good reasons. Right? And we rely on a group called CPS, right? Is that what we rely on? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've heard as many horror stories through CPS. And don't get me wrong, there's some great CPS people out there. I've met them. They've worked with me. They've helped me. But there's some that bother me. There's some that get under my crawl, and I worry about that. And I think somebody's going to talk on that a little bit later today. But I want to tell you, if you've got people confronting you saying, where do these numbers come from? Tell them to call me. I'll be more than happy to give them to them. And I'll be more than happy to show them what the facts are. Because it's reality. And the reality is, we're killing our children. We may not be physically killing them, but mentally we're destroying them. And it breaks my heart. I can tell you case after case of children that we've brought home that spent 6-7 months in a mental institution. Children that had to be surgically repaired from problems. We've got to stop it. And it's not a divide. It's not a left and right. It's not a Democrat, Republican. It's sick individuals that we need to stop. And I don't care what their political affiliation is. It's got to stop. I want to introduce the next speaker, if I may. And I could talk on forever about this topic. Believe me.